Yeah. We good? So, all right, thanks.
Excuse me.
I like that
I do like it.
Yeah.
When she said it, I was like, I wouldn't even have thought of it, but I like it. Thunderbolt, your dog name.
Yeah, but like, you got a short for it, like a bolt.
Yeah, what's the nickname?
Trouble.
I know she likes nicknames that end with
Let's rock
Y.
and roll. All please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mrs. Andriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Mrs. Smith?
Here,
Mr. Williams?
Here. First on tonight's agenda is a public hearing on the establishment and extension of the sewer district in the hamlet of Patterson. Does somebody have the legal notice they can read?
Yes, notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of Patterson will hold a public hearing at 7:00 PM or as soon thereafter as may be heard on July 27, 2022 at the Patterson Town Hall located at 1142 Route 311, Patterson, New York, 12563, to consider a petition to extend the Patterson Sanitary Sewer District in the hamlet of Patterson, which extension would service 3081 Route 22, and to hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same, and for such other action on the part of the town board relation to such petition as may be required by law.
Just to rephrase what our attorney has just read, the application is to tie in the mobile gas station, which is now owned by Patterson Food Mart LLC, into our sewer district. Their septic failed quite some time ago, and they've been searching for solutions, and they have no viable on-site solution at this point to solve the problem. So they are asking to tie into our wastewater treatment plant. The line currently runs past their facility. It runs from Thunder Ridge over to down to the center of Front Street and then over to the wastewater treatment plant. So they will be tying in the Thunder Ridge's line. At this time, I would ask that anybody here in the audience, if you have any questions or comments about this tie-in, the extension of the sewer district, if you would approach the mic and state your name and address for the record and make your comments or ask your questions. Hearing none, I would ask that anybody joining us tonight by Zoom, if anybody joining us by Zoom has any questions about this public hearing or the application pending before the town board, if you would unmute and state your name and address for the record. Hearing none, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Of this public hearing. I have one comment, just a question. Where exactly will they be tying in?
Almost. All right, so you know where the entrance is to the site coming in off of 311? Go down 311, you can turn into mobile
Yes,
from 311. All right, the west side, the side closest to town hall,
yes.
the line will go straight across the road.
Thank you.
Want to see the map? I have a map. Oh, okay.
They all have it.
Yeah.
All right, would somebody like to audit the bills?
we done, I seconded, we're all in favor.
Aye, I
Aye.
believe.
There was just- Good catch.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 13 dated July 15, 2022 in the amount of $391,002.99. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
And I believe we have some budget transfers.
we have one.
We have
Following budget transfer is requested to reallocate funds for the highway machinery contractual fuel usage account due to the increased fuel costs. So we're moving money from the equipment and capital outlay expense account, $30,000 to machinery contractual fuel usage expense accounts for $30,000. I'll make a motion that the town board approve budget transfer request number 15. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Might as well keep going.
Okey-doke. First thing on tonight's agenda is a resolution and order approving the extension of the Patterson Hamlet Sanitary Sewer District. It's as it pertains to what we just had the public hearing on. And it goes through all of the ramifications and explanations and the details of the extension. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve this resolution and enter it into the record as read. So moved.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
I just want to make a note and compliment Mike Bonforti, who has been the representative for this project for the last probably year and a half or so. Things really were stalling until he got involved as the rep for the company, and it really gained steam and moved full on. And I appreciate that, Mike, because this is certainly important for protecting our resources in Patterson and making sure that this works appropriately. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, one quick thing, Counselor, now we're off to the races and we have to make the filing with the controller. In the past, I've set all the documents up for Don to sign.
Mhm.
Are you signing now?
Or we can sign them.
Okay, you want me to set them up for you?
You can send them to me, yes.
Okay.
And we'll get them done as soon as we can.
We approved it, right?
Yep, I believe so.
Okay. Next, we have the senior trip request. Putnam Lake seniors to go on a trip to the Foxwood Casino the end of September. With the impact on the budget, net cost of the budget is $740. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the senior trip request, Foxwood Casino on 9/29/22. So moved.
second,
All in favor?
Aye. Next, we have two reports from the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets with regard to our dog control officer and to the Brook Farm Veterinary Center. Both reports are glowing. Alan's doing a great job with how he's handling the loose dogs and getting them to the Brook Farm Center. And the Brook Farm Center is getting glowing reports from the New York State Department. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve both of these reports, one on Allen and one on Brook Farm, from the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. So moved.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that Charles?
Good.
Okay, first, we have been discussing with the Paterson Fire Department, purchase of a new assistant chief's vehicle. This falls in line with the vehicle replacement policy and the replacement schedule. Typically for vehicles like this, we're looking at a 7-year lifespan, and this is actually 9 years since they bought the previous one. So in discussion, they are looking to replace that truck with a 2022 Chevy Tahoe, and it would just need to be outfitted as such. So the resolution is for the approval of this assistant chief's vehicle for an amount not to exceed $75,000. I'll ask that we introduce this resolution authorizing this purchase for Patterson Fire Department and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next item, we had discussed this at last meeting, but I've been in conversation with Laura Russo from the Putt Lake Park Advisory Board, who would like to promote a fishing contest in Putnam Lake. They are proposing to do it on the September 24th, which is one of New York State's free fishing days. So you don't need to have a license. You do need to be a Park District member to be in this. We had brought up a couple of concerns, and essentially we spoke about making sure that they follow New York State fishing rules, because they are looking to award prizes for the largest or the longest pike. So we talked about the New York State requirements, which are that in order to take a fish out of the water and keep it, it has to be over 18 inches in length. They are also looking to do for the greatest number of fish, but the law says that there's a 5 fish maximum. So we need to stay within those parameters, and they understand that. They're going to make sure that that's within the rules of this contest. And so we are looking for approval for this proposal for the prizes referenced in the memo, which are $100 for the largest fish, longest fish, I'm sorry, $100 for the heaviest fish, and $100 for the most number of fish within those state guidelines. So I'll make a motion, we approve that, but again, following all New York State fishing regulations.
For discussion, is there a second?
I'll second.
There you go.
So anybody who's going to enter this contest is limited to 5 pike,
Correct.
right? So what do we do when we have 6 or 7 people all with 5 pike?
Well, I think then they're gonna have to figure out what happens. That's why we brought it up as there's a limit.
Yep.
I think it'd be amazing if that happened because of the 18-inch minimum.
Yeah, so it's 5 pike, 18 inches or
Or
more.
larger. Yeah, so I think that meeting that is pretty difficult. You don't hear about them taking those large pike that often. in
That may
public.
be, I'm still concerned about what happens if we have multiple people who get there and is
There's Laura.
Paul, is Laura on?
Yeah.
So, all right,
Hello,
so
Laura.
So I've got a suggestion. What if we set it up so there is a single $100 prize, but you have to get 5 pike to get a lottery ticket to get the grand prize.
So in other words, if there's more than one person, then it's a
You draw a lottery.
draw. That seems reasonable.
Laura?
Yeah, I agree.
That sounds good. I like that one.
There's obviously going to be a registration process for this contest.
Yes.
Did you hear that, Laura?
Yeah, because we want to make sure that everybody's a Putnam Lake resident.
Okay, so maybe Sean, I don't know if we could get the requirements, the regulations on
sent
this,
them.
and oh, you
Yeah, I
sent them
sent
to
them
her?
to Laura.
Okay,
Yeah.
so at least it would be attached to that, so they acknowledge that
Yeah.
they're aware that they the length and everything. Okay,
And again, I was just trying to avoid anybody getting in trouble out there that you have a fishing
Yeah.
contest and everybody's all of a sudden, you have someone unknowingly breaking the law and then.
Mhm.
No,
we
it's
have
great
bigger
that you did that.
problems, So
It also says all pike would have to be disposed of and not returned to the lake. Is that a state law too, or is it?
no, it's not. And
It's
so
just a-
it just means the reality is that if it's over 18 inches, you're keeping it, you're allowed to keep fish, but they have to be within that slot size. They can't be 10 inches long and being kept, so that's the concern. So again, it's just, what I was talking to Laura about was putting some kind of an annotation on the paperwork that says must follow all New York State fishing rules, and you can list, those slot size. Yeah.
Would you like to amend your resolution?
Sure, let's amend the resolution to include, or the motion to include what the supervisor had said about if there's a tie for the most number of fish, that each person be given in some type of a ticket, and then they draw from those tickets to award a prize. So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
It's Laura.
The next item is an absolute honor and privilege to bring up to the board. This one is a request that we received from Rick and Gail Saracelli, who we all know and love. And it's a request to, they'd like to have a plaque made in honor of their late son, Tony Saracelli, who we all know passed away way too young a few years ago. And the plaque has essentially would have an inscription, which is a beautiful commemoration of the Patterson Swamp that Tony wrote. And it's a couple of paragraphs long, but I did want to just read one section that I think, if you understand that this young man had a great love and appreciation, not only for Patterson, but for the environment and, you know, the sanctuary, if you will, of the Patterson Great Swamp. And in talking about the Patterson Swamp and the conservation of those resources, he says, what is it we've done right? This world of life, of balance, purity, and virginity, and vulnerability is and will be forever my home and responsibility. If the turtles or the trout and the snakes or the swans are gone forever, I will feel like I wasted my life. What would the world be for me and my children if I did not lay down life for the creatures and places that breathe and bled life into my body, mind, and soul? What could I accomplish in the misery and denial of today's society that could possibly ever offset the loss of such diversity, such beauty, such irreplaceable wonder? And I just think that's just an excerpt of a beautiful, beautiful thing that he wrote. And I think it's really a nice commemoration to his love for that great resource that we have out there. So the idea is that they would have this plaque created, and then essentially we were just looking to approve the placement of the plaque, and their idea is either at the entrance to the park or possibly at the entrance to the boardwalk. And I honestly don't have a preference. I think I would just want to make sure it's in a secure location, because we always worry about vandalism, and we've had very minor vandalism down at the boardwalk. And it's a great time to be talking about it, because we and I want to acknowledge that Ed Napierkowski is here, who maintains that beautiful resource that we have down here and does a great job. We're talking about the next phase of getting back to work on that boardwalk now that things are back a little more back to normal, and hopefully lumber prices come down a little bit over the next few months, and we can
Didn't the other day.
no, and as soon as maybe the mosquitoes are at bay, we can start talking about that next phase. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the requests that Gail and Rick Saracelli have placed into the town board and allow for the creation of this beautiful plaque. And then just talk about where it's going to be placed.
Oh, yeah, so, I mean, you want to make a motion to move this forward because the board is in agreement with doing this, that's great, but then let me go figure out how we're gonna do it, and then we can talk about
Yeah.
where it's gonna be, and we're still gonna have to come back to the board to approve the expenditure.
So, well, the expenditure is,
Yeah.
Gail and Rick are paying for it.
Yeah,
Did I miss
They're not
that?
looking for money.
Yeah.
They're just looking for approval. But what I would suggest is maybe we can, Gail and Rick, when they see what size it will be, that may also determine placement and how we do it. When they get a design.
Oh, I
We
did I
will-
did miss it.
So I think once they get the design, if they say, hey, this plaque is going to be, 18 by 24, well, that'll give us a better idea of replacement. But I think it's just to commemorate or approve moving forward with this idea this time. I think that's really the best way to phrase it.
I'll second it wholeheartedly. Rick and his family have done so much for that park, and I think this is a great honor for their son. So thanks, second.
Yeah, it absolutely is. All in favor?
Aye.
And okay, and lastly, a request, and this is on behalf of a member of our town Paterson Highway Department, Gene Brandon. His colleagues in the Highway Department have asked that the town board consider setting up a sick bank donation. This member of our town of Paterson family is going to need some medical treatment that will likely exhaust his accumulated sick time. And we'd like to set up a bank. Now, Rich, can we set this up across all of the town employees so that it's not just?
That's the way it works.
Okay, so make a motion that we approve the request to set up a sick bank donation on behalf of Gene Brandon. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay. So the phone lines have completely failed going into the wastewater treatment plant, which is somewhat perplexing, and we need to replace them. Currently, we have installed some radio devices to monitor the burglar and fire alarms, but there are a number of different functions down at the wastewater treatment that require phone lines. So we've been looking at the best way to do it. I did write the board a memo, and we have gotten a quote from Protel to provide the new burial cable. We're talking about running, so we definitely need 3, 4 would be good four pair of lines so that we have four distinct lines going out of there. But we're also currently using a radio device to provide connectivity between the Dorset Hollow water plant. For whatever reason, when the wastewater treatment plant went in, phone lines for the water treatment plant didn't go in at the same time. I had no idea why. So I'd like to install enough lines so that we could tie in Dorset Hollow with any work we're going to do in the future. Highway has been gracious enough to agree to do the trenching, but they want a mark out because we have the wastewater treatment lines running down through there. We also have the electric lines running down through there. So everybody has two prices, and I'd like to start off with making a motion to approve Protel Inc. To provide 12 pair jelly-filled gopher-proof burial cable and make the appropriate connections to the phone lines for an amount of $3,044.35. So
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And I would also like to make a motion to approve LaBelle Associates for $775 to do the market.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. This is turning into just to be an update to the board. For those of you who don't know the wastewater treatment plant, we have a SBR building with two big tanks in it, and the tanks function. They water the sludge going in there, and then there's these big arms that skim off the effluent. And then take the sludge away. And they've been problematic over the years. We've had to rebuild them 3 or 4 times, and we recently, back in the spring, actually had to replace one of the arms, and we want to get the arm that was broken rebuilt. And we've been trying to get Raritan to give us a price to do that. Unfortunately, Raritan is a sole source provider, very difficult to work with. And so they have given us a price, but as of today, I can tell you that this price may or may not be valid, because now they're questioning about whether there is a rod in the unit that needs to be fabricated, and we're going back and forth with them on that. So I'm going to table this for tonight till we actually get a firm price. Next thing is also with the wastewater treatment plant. I went out there one night. I called out there at 2 o'clock in the morning. Found out that all the lights were out on the exterior of the building. So we need to replace the lights. We've had an electrician look at them, and they all need to be replaced. We did reach out to 3 different companies. Only Echo Electric gave us a price back. And I would like to make a motion to approve Echo Electric to replace the exterior lights on the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $2,584. So
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
In the near future, I'm going to be coming back to the board because most of the lights in the SBR building are shot, and they all need to be replaced as well. The SBR building, there's a lot of explosive gases within that building, and they have severely corroded the lights. So we're going to have to replace them completely. And unfortunately, they have to be explosion-proof lights. So, but we're working on that. Last on my agenda, we've received a request. This is a new property owner in the town of Patterson on Ice Pond Road. They bought, for those of you who know it, the old Camp Brady site, which was subdivided a number of years ago. And the lot was subdivided into 4 single-family homes. And the owners at the time when they did the subdivision, of course, the owners, proposed a road name of Noshcola Lane. And the planning board, the way our code is written, accepted the road name of Noshcola Lane out there.
We always knew sometime they would be changing that name. I didn't think 2022 made the pool, but
We've since changed our code that, in a new subdivision, the road name has to be related to some natural feature of the site or something historic. But there's nothing in our code which talks about renaming a road and what the process might be, for somebody who doesn't like their road name and wants to rename it. And so I'm throwing this out to the board for discussion tonight. I've also thrown it out to the planning board because they initially, do the road names to, get their feedback about, who has the right to actually approve the road name. And my recommendation would be, I would say that at this juncture, it's the town board that would need to sign off on any new road name, but I would like to do it with the planning board's at least recommendation. And then we also have to get County Office of Emergency Management to sign off on the road name.
What about the post office?
No, the post office doesn't have a say.
They don't,
No, they do not.
no say at all.
No, they do not.
And who incurs the cost of the sign change?
Well, it's a
The
private
county
road,
or-
so no, it's a private road, so the property owner would. However, this is a property that we're still trying to figure out exactly what they're proposing to use the property for, because it's been bought up by a Buddhist organization who is looking to use it, their words, as a retreat. And we're not exactly sure what that means, whether they're going to use the single family homes, invite people to come up and commune with nature, or they're looking to do something like the Kent Monastery over on 301.
Be a very interesting discussion.
Yes.
So my one concern is, since there's a filed plat that shows the name, whether they should be making an application to the planning board to amend the site plan approval. Because the plat is filed with the county that has that name on it, could cause confusion in the future.
But the function of a plat really is to
The subdivision of
define-
the land,
well,
yeah.
define the boundaries of lots, not so much the road name. We throw it on there, so, there's, it's a point of reference, exactly. So,
More of a locator
yeah,
than a descriptor.
Yeah. I'll certainly think, look into it and think about it more, but that would be my one concern, is because it is on file and could cause confusion in the future. Subsequent property owners and subsequent insurances that are obtained.
so for those in the audience and joining us, the current road name is Nashcola. And I'm not sure, I'm not gonna mispronounce this name, but I believe it's Abhirati Lane or Aberati Road is what they're proposing. And that means pure land in the east. So any board member have any opinion on that road name?
Well, the thing is, I don't remember what Nashcola meant. I can't remember. I was on the board at the time, but I don't remember the explanation of it.
I don't think we ever knew what the explanation was.
I think he told us when he proposed it, but I honestly, it was so long ago. But,
How did Lane?
based on the meaning, it's certainly, and I did search Aberati, and that is an accurate explanation of what the meaning is. Pure land in the east. I don't have any problem. It's certainly not going to conflict with any other road names in Putnam County, so I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. Yeah.
Private road. so.
That road.
Yeah.
All right, so
Lane.
we want to see what the planning board has to say.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. And that is it for me.
Okay, so the first item on my agenda is a resolution authorizing a well easement between the premises at 59 Maple Avenue and the Veterans Memorial Park. This agreement allows the town board of the town of Patterson authorized and directs the supervisor to execute the easement and all other documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the well easement at the property between 59 Maple and Veterans Memorial Park and enter this resolution into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
But he's okay with the easement?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
I thought it was interesting that it has a tie into the fee per year, but then after 10 years, it goes up like $50, and then every 10 years, if the the fee to the town goes up another $50. So it shows for inflation of, potential maintenance costs and such.
Just hope electric doesn't,
Yeah.
go crazy.
Well, I noticed I passed there before and the property at 59 is for sale. It must be sold. I guess the house is empty.
It is empty. I know it's being marketed. I know the potential buyer walked out of the deal because of the lack of an easement agreement. I don't know how this all came to be. We researched the heck out of it, trying to find out how this property ended up tying into the town well. Certainly, we know that the property that's tying in was one of the original owners of the property. So,
That the park was built.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that.
all right, did we voted on that? Yes, we did.
We did.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, the next item is Putnam Lake Park District requests for the mats. I know we tabled this at the last meeting because we didn't actually have a final quote. Laura has been kind enough to get us a quote for 9 mats. These are the weave mats in the Putnam Lake and 9 installs. The total cost for the mats would be $3,150 and the installation will be $225 each for a total of $2,025. So I'd like to make a motion to approve $5,175 for the Putnam Lake Park Board to have these mats installed. So
Second.
So I just want to throw out, we've got 5 weeks left of the beach season. And I know that Putnam Lake Park District would like to install them, but by the time we get these mats in, we're going to be down to about 3 weeks. And then they're going to be coming right back out.
You have to pay to install. them
they have to
again
pay to
next year.
take them out.
Yep. Laura, are you there?
I'm here.
You heard what I said?
Yes.
We had this conversation. Have you thought any about that?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that's fine. I'd like to still purchase them. And hope that, next year costs don't go up.
And that was my recommendation, is that we purchase the mats this year, so we have them on hand and ready to go for a stake. And we're not sitting here waiting for them for some supply chain problem, and we're not subject to any price increases.
Quick question, as I understand it, these, once they're stored, they're rolled up like a roll of carpet, each one, right? Where are we storing them?
Boathouse.
The boathouse, okay, as long as there's sufficient room, and then hopefully there's no issue with mice chewing on them or anything.
Well, we
Maybe
will
set some
adequately
traps in there.
protect them.
Yeah,
So are we doing the installs or we're not doing the installs?
I think then let's just buy the mats for now.
So we'll,
It's up to the board. What do you want to do?
No, I think we should buy them. Talk to the company, see if they'll hold the price on the installation for next year. And we wait until next year.
For the installation.
well, do we have, you're certain it's 3 weeks left? What is the last day? I mean, is it not doing this compromising the residents from using the lake? Because if it is, and it's only 3 weeks, I mean, they
So
don't
what are
get
we,
to use it
August
as,
already, would be
We're
August.
August, the weeds have done their thing in the spring. And
Yeah.
we're keeping them at bay at this point. I was out on the beaches today, and they look really, really good. And I was somewhat surprised given the weather that we've had.
Well, and the other part of this is we're not closing beaches because of weed growth. The beaches have, it's not like that is, that this is just going to allow a better and easier maintenance of the beaches for the future. So if we were to lose any swimming time on our beaches, it's not because we either installed or didn't install these mats. It's because of other factors. So I think in that regard, it's just.
so if you're not doing the installs, then why don't we just order more mats? We were about to approve 5,100 for 9 mats and 9 installs. Why don't you buy more mats this year?
So.
Well, then you're doubling everything, right?
No, we won't get the installs.
Well, you have to pay for them next year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they want to purchase more mats
$6,300.
next year.
So if you did 18, you could do for 60.
You want to weigh in on that, Laura?
Yeah, if we bought more mats now, we could either double the amount that go on each beach or just one beach.
Yeah, that is a very good point. We could put them on Jackson.
Right.
All right, so let's do that.
So,
Right, Matt?
so
So you want to do 18
18 at
mats?
6,300.
Yeah. Laura, 18 mats at 6,300.
Works for me.
Okay,
Sure. that's-
and you can work on an agreement with the install price?
Yeah.
Is shipping.
No, we should.
Don't see shipping.
No, but that's including the
There,
installs. That's with the installs. In your
So there's a couple-
email, it says we
Okay.
could either start with 9 mats and it would cost us 51.75. Yeah, that's just double this. So.
Right, it's double.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 18 mats only at $350 each in the amount of $6,300. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, rec requests. Okay, I have a memo from Mr. Matt Chavarro. He has a new program idea. He'd like to offer a new free program for adults of all ages this fall, a writer's workshop. It would be geared towards those who are interested in writing essays, short stories, novels, memoirs, blogs, or even journalism. The class would meet one morning per week, 8-week session for 90 minutes at the rec center so participants can learn, share, discuss, and collaborate. Linda Spears is a successful author and former journalist. She is willing to participate in and share her experiences and knowledge of the world of writing and publishing. Linda has led this type of workshop in her hometown of Somers and on Zoom throughout the pandemic. Her love for writing and helping others lead her to create the workshop which she believes are food for the soul. So I'll make a motion for Matt to move forward on his new program idea, writer's workshop. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And by the way, this lady is not charging.
Really? Next, Matt would like to hire a program leader. Sarah Sabani as our special needs program leader. She has extensive knowledge and experience working with the special needs population and has a proven track record running the VIP program in our towns. Her pay rate will be $25 per hour. The first program is slated to start fall of 2022 with a 6-week soccer clinic, which will be organized into skill-based stations. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Sarah Sabahin as our special needs VIP program leader at the rate of $25 per hour. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also, Matt would like to hire a new lifeguard, Shannon Dalrymple. Shannon has valid certifications and will receive a junior guard rate of $13 per hour. I'll make a motion to hire Shannon Dalrymple at $13 per hour. And in addition to the lifeguard staff. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Patterson Rec is having a food pantry sponsored by the Recreation and Park Society. Please help make this day a success and support this worthy cause by bringing to camp and any non-perishable food item. Below are some suggestions. Please make sure to check the expiration date to ensure that your donation will be able to be put in good use. So they will not be taking expired food items. They'll be accepted at the Patterson Rec Center through August 17th. I don't know, you want to get them? Good, okay. That's very busy. The next item is fire department new members. So I have a resolution here for 3 new members. One is actually Josephine Sudol, happen to know her very well. It's a great person. I'm glad to see that she's getting involved. She'll be excellent addition to the Putnam Lake Fire Department. Also Martin Tyler, sorry, and Hannah Borson. Am I saying that right? Borson. All 3 of these candidates would like to be part of the Putnam Lake Fire Department and have been accepted as members to the fire department. Josephine, Tyler, and Hannah, and will be accepted upon completion of all background checks. So I'll make a motion to approve these 3 new members of the Putnam Lake Fire Department and enter the resolution into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Peter.
Okay, first I have 2 memos here from Dennis Mays from Building and Maintenance. The first one tells us they recently brought the building and maintenance truck to get an oil change, air conditioning, recharge and inspection. While the inspection was being performed, they found that the transmission lines and transmission cooler were leaking and in need of replacement. So it was essential work. It was done, the work went over well. So the total price was $1,018.47 for the repairs to the truck.
That's good.
We're doing good
Moving
tonight.
along.
It's summer, folks. We're having fun.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second one, when he brought the truck to get the oil change, air conditioning, charge and inspection. While they were trying to recharge the air conditioning unit, they found the air conditioning condenser was leaking and needed to be replaced. The total cost is $722.76. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that expenditure. So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
do we have a vehicle replacement fund for that vehicle?
We do not.
It's aging, it's getting, these repairs are starting to add up. Same with the building inspectors. Maybe we could look into, I know these are kind of new vehicles in the past. We never really had them, we've had the building inspector, but the building and maintenance vehicle, he was fairly new. We bought it used.
Yeah.
Maybe we can look into doing some kind of fund to replace it.
Budget time's right around the corner.
So.
It didn't used to be a problem because we've been going up to Busick Falls. We've been getting great deals. We've got 2 or 3 trucks over highway that we've got up there. We've got Dennis's truck.
Yeah.
We can't keep them on lot anymore.
Yeah.
With the current economy.
Be nice just to replace them with a new vehicle that have that. I mean, look how long we've had the building department vehicle.
Yeah, that probably
Just last week.
anything.
Yeah. All right, next I have a couple of resignations from the court for court officers. So the first resignation we have from Lawrence Lorenzano, resigning as a court officer for the Paterson Court. To make a motion to approve his resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next resignation is from Martin Finneran, resigning from as a court officer as well from the Patterson Justin Court. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I have a requisition from Robert Kearns for EMS supervisor, administrator for lettering. I guess this is lettering for the ambulance, the new ambulance. So I'd like to make a motion to approve $4,500 for the lettering graphics for the new ambulance. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So next, as we talked about the last meeting, EMS administrator was looking for a new vehicle. The plan was to give his vehicle to the building department, who was in need of a newer vehicle. And we talked about the different options. So I do still have a stack. I don't have a memo on what we decided or what we were.
So originally, we were looking at a vehicle that was trying to think where it was.
So that one's.
Yeah.
it's a white Tahoe.
So, and the reason we were going down that road, was because, even though the Patterson Fire Department had offered us a vehicle, we didn't feel that in this current climate that, we're getting that, vehicle that quickly. Our EMS administrator and myself have both met with the, chief and assistant chief with the fire department, and they've assured us that they can get us that vehicle by September. And, both Bob and, both Bobs, Bob McCarthy and Tom Kearns feel that, they would rather wait till the end of, August to get that vehicle. The chief's vehicle.
To get the
But
Patterson.
that means we're also gonna have to spend money, stripping the Patterson Fire Department truck down and repainting that as well as Bobby's truck. So that's why, we've come back with this for the, town to accept the offer of the Patterson Fire Department's, donation of a vehicle down.
Donation of vehicle or
Donation of a vehicle for $20,000.
At least the mileage is high. And somebody will.
Yes, I definitely misspoke on that.
at least we know the vehicle too.
Yeah,
We do.
it's cool.
So it's $20,000. That's what we're looking for.
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion for, to approve $20,000 for the purchase of the first assistance chief car Tahoe from the Patterson Fire Department. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, he was. It's down on the bottom.
Painting and lettering.
Yeah, for the lettering,
How much was it?
6,000.
Okay, I'd like to make a second motion to approve $6,000 to cover all the costs for, actually, was this for radios? and stuff?
Radios also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Installing radios and doing painting and re-lettering, whatever is needed. So
Second.
All in favor?
okay, next I have the mileage rate. So the current mileage rate is 58 cents a mile. The federal mileage rate has increased to 62 cents a mile. Obviously, with the gas prices and everything else, I think it's something we should look at. We have a memo here from our town controller stating that it would cost the town if we increased it from now. Let's see, now to this, from July to December, it would just be like an additional $282. So I'd like to make a motion that we increase the mileage per diem to 62 cents per mile. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Other business? Board member have any other business you wish to bring up at this time?
Actually, I was looking for an update. Someone had asked me, the Beth Howell plaque.
So I believe that the time that we had set for that fund has expired. I've got to check in with Trish about where we stand with the amount. We've received a number of different donations. Laura Russo has been very instrumental in helping collect those donations
Mhm.
from people who are looking to give. And then I believe we're waiting for something from the Putnam Lake Park District as far as whether it's going to be a bench and a plaque and what we're doing. Correct, Laura?
Yeah, as soon as we know what kind of money, we'll, decide how much a bench will cost and
Okay, so it was explained to me that most of her friends are going back to college in a couple of weeks, and they were hoping they wanted to have some type of a memorial with the bench or plaque, and they actually had mentioned that it doesn't have to be a bench. They're really just looking for maybe a plaque on the back of the one chair, if that's possible, if they don't have enough money for a bench. But I think that they were looking to do that more sooner than later because the kids have to go back to school. The
All right,
young
let me,
adults have to go
let
back
me-
to school.
Laura, are you going to be around tomorrow?
yes,
All right, we'll talk tomorrow, see what we can get organized.
All right,
Okay,
thank
Great.
you.
Thanks.
okay.
I wanted to also mention, someone posted, and my wife made me aware of this. I was telling Barry about it earlier, that someone posted on social media about Patterson that there was an American flag over in around by VFW in Putt Lake that was tangled up in the wires, in the electrical wires, and that they had mentioned this to several people and nothing had been done. Well, when I found out about this, I called Margot over at the highway department, and she said, "Oh, we're in luck. The crews are out there putting up the banners, and we'll take a look." And she got back to me within like an hour and said, "This is the only flag in this area, and it's perfectly fine." So either someone else fixed it, it wasn't the town, or the wind fixed it or something, but it wasn't an issue. So
Well, I can tell you that I was over there with the crews at the time putting the banners up. I've been going up and down the roads over there because of trying to organize where the banners are gonna go. And there's only been one flag out there on Fairfield Drive, and it's in good condition. And so when the call came in, Margot texted me and took a ride around. There was nothing anywhere, so I don't.
So
know.
either there was another flag and maybe it got taken down or something, but bottom line is we don't have that situation where we have a flag that's tangled up, which the person, and I would agree, is a disrespectful situation. But thank you, Rich, and thank you to the highway department for responding so quickly to take a look, because I know it would have got resolved.
The
So,
banners look very nice.
very nice,
Yeah.
They really do.
really nice.
Kudos to everybody who's been involved in that.
You have to try to keep your eyes on the road,
Yeah.
not rear-end anybody.
So I talked to Andy and I've talked to Scotty and Meg, and I pitched an idea to them, and I'll throw it out to the town board. What I want them to do is to reach out to everybody who submitted a banner and get a bio of the people who have got banners up now. And we will set up a page, on our
that's
website,
nice. That would
now
be
or
nice.
future one, whatever. And so somebody can go and see, when they're driving down the road and they see a name up there, they can go to our website and learn a little bit about that.
That's nice.
I like that. Yeah, very good idea.
Do you have anyone that's gonna put that up on the website or?
Not yet. Anyone else?
I have something. I have a question about an email sent from Councilman Cook on July 16th. Before I ask about the email, I just want to give a little background. So it's about a couple years ago, we had made up a list of outstanding projects that we kind of came up with over the years, and they kind of went lingering. We kind of made up a list throughout the town board members. We did have a work session on it a while ago. I had brought this up again in January, and we had you had told us that you were very busy and everything else, that you couldn't finish everything on the list or continue everything on the list. So Councilman Cook actually took that list and made some suggestions on maybe assigning each project to certain people. And then there was nothing ever responded on it. So I brought it up. I actually brought it up at another town board meeting, and you said you would look into it, and we didn't hear anything. And then I brought it up again last meeting during our discussion about the website. I had mentioned that list again. Charlie had resent the list. I responded to list. So Charlie said, "Dear colleagues, let us set a work session to establish time frame and completion dates for these projects. Add anything else you'd like to discuss." I responded that yes, this is the email I referred to at the town board meeting. Be great if we could have a work session like Charlie suggested. I'm available Wednesday or Thursday of this week. And I gave some other availability, and then that was it. There was no response to that. So
When did you send your email?
July 18th, 2 days later. July 18th, 2 days later.
I honestly don't remember getting that. I agree that we should talk about those items and get an understanding of, or come to not an understanding, but a conclusion perhaps that who would be best to follow through on these, and then set a date. That's all, it can be,
So
most of those could be next year. At least we know. That's all I was trying to get across.
No, I agree.
I apologize. I just don't remember.
No, you don't need to apologize because you had sent it out. I replied to it. No, there was no other,
Well, why
no
don't
one
we
replied
set-
to you, so.
Let's set a work session date now.
So I'm not comfortable discussing this at a work session. I think if we're gonna be discussing these things, they need to be, at a regular meeting. That was something that was suggested to me last meeting, that these need to be at a regular meeting. I can say I'm not prepared to respond to each and every one of them tonight. So I will put them on the agenda for next meeting. And they'll be on our town board agenda next meeting. We can have a discussion on that.
I think that's great. I think that we should just like Charlie said, though, these aren't items for you to give us an update on like you have in the past. You just, the last work session we had, you just kind of like zip through it and just gave us an update on everything. I don't think that's what we were looking for. We're kind of looking for, like Charlie said, there's some items here that maybe we could assign to the safety committee, the town engineer, and so on. So I think Charlie's,
There were two things. Well, again, I don't want to get into this.
All right, so we do it next meeting.
We'll do it next meeting.
That's
And,
fine.
and I think some of them have been worked on by the safety committee.
We put a target date. That's all, what we think. Go from there.
Okay. Very good. Anything else? Down to public recognition. Does any member of the audience here tonight wish to approach the board and make any comments or ask any questions?
George,
All right, Bruce, you're up first.
stage fright. George Disbrow, Tammany Hall Road, also represent the library. I had originally planned just to do just a little one today. But you'll find out why I'm doing a little bit more. The usually talk about programs. I'm just going to mention two dates that we have coming up. Tuesday, August 16th at noon, there's a movie that's being shown, Tea with the Dames. It's with Judi Dench and Maggie Smith. It's a documentary. People might find that interesting. The other one ties in very nicely with Mr. Rogan was saying about the Saraselli family. On Thursday, August 18th at 7 p.m., there's a presentation about what's so great about the Great Swamp. And in addition to a speaker and finding out information, I had no idea. It's one of the largest freshwater bodies in New York State. There's also going to be a film that's being narrated by James Earl Jones. So that sort of dovetails very nicely what you were talking about with the Saraselli family. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in addition to programs, which I'm not going to get into, we offer a lot of services at the library. And currently we're doing some nutrition services for not only it's garden time, special nutritional recipes that you can use just from things from your garden, especially if you decide to be, or if you are a vegetarian. And also there's a nutrition services for kids snacks, healthy kids snacks. And then three other very quick things. We have notary services that are free for all types of notary services, open computer help, which is free. We have a book club if anyone's interested in joining that. There are a couple, I think, in session. And the last one is kind of new. It's a program called Canopy with a K, Canopy. And it's a streaming service for documentaries, movies, children's programming, thousands of stuff. And you can do that from any one of your devices at home. There's a little catch, no cost, but there's a catch. You have to have a library card. And if you have a library card, then it's free and you can do this at home. The other thing I just wanted to mention, that's the end of the library stuff. So I'm still George Disbrow from Tammany Hall Road. And as a resident, I just wanted to say, in the past, I've talked about the great cooperation that we get from the employees, the town, the people within the town. I've mentioned Mr. D'Andriano and the help that he's provided in terms of his expertise with emergency services and things like that. I've mentioned Sue, who was very helpful in providing information and programs. Tonight, I just wanted to mention Mary, Illinois. It's so nice that we have people here when you have questions that may not pertain to Patterson, but just questions in terms of, she's a receiver of taxes and she's got a great wealth of information. And she was very helpful to myself and my family, my extended family. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, but it's very nice to know that there's people here in our town who help outside of just running the town. Mary knows that because I call her about the school bus schedule. So I just wanted to acknowledge Mary, Illinois this evening. Thank you.
Hey, George.
Thanks, man.
George,
Thank you, Mayor.
those are awesome programs that just, the notary. Is there a schedule for that, or is the notary available all the time?
Walk on in. It's
Right?
available all the time.
So I think we get a lot here, right? A lot of people try to walk in and
We get a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send me
Right
down
now.
the road.
help take the burden off us a little bit.
Right now,
It only goes, make a left,
Yeah, we
go
only,
down the road, make a right.
so I have talked to staff. We have at least two people who are also interested in getting another. No. So I'm gonna put something together, bring it back to everybody, so we can have more than one notary. Because we do get a lot of them.
thank you, George.
Anyone else? All right, at this time, I'll open it up to our audience joining us via Zoom. If anybody joining us by Zoom has any comments, if you would unmute and state your name and address for the record. All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.